Well, Merry Christmas everybody. I wasn't going to do another video this year, even though at least three dreams were fulfilled yesterday. I thought, well, nobody's really going to appreciate it quite like me, so I just thought I'll keep it to myself and just thank the Lord. But what do I come out to on Christmas Eve? 1, 2, 3, 4 ghost riders in the sky. Would you believe it? I think there's actually a fifth one over there. 5 ghost riders in the sky on Christmas Eve 2021. How desperate they must be. And keeping with the theme of my dream for this morning, which I believe is speaking of me going into the secret place. The dreams that came true, I had to be very careful yesterday. Hopefully many of you will remember. I will put the links, because it's only when you really read the links that it might make sense. Many of you hopefully will remember the dreams that I've had. Look at that. Okay, so you can render those powerless. Just go out and speak against them. I render you powerless, impotent. I take away your poison and command that this land be freed and set free from all your evil, and that you poison no more this wonderful paradise that God has given me. Okay guys, yeah, a little bit crazy, but I know it works, and the Lord told me to do it, so I do it. So I'll leave the links. The dreams that I had, some will remember, one of them was a guy called Mike Allpress, who lives at Waiheke. He does actually exist, but the name Allpress is symbolic, as is Michael. Allpress is actually the name of the high priest, so all priest, and Michael the high priest, the angel. So this is the important thing with your dreams. You know, if you knew this person that I'm talking about, he's not at all any of these things, but God needed the name, so he uses him. So anyway, in the dream he was driving this huge concrete truck, and you know the truck was actually made out of concrete. We couldn't see him, but Dennis and I were in it, and it was going so fast, that we were petrified, and until it just splashed into the water. This is at this area where he lives, beautiful place up there, but it splashed into a place called Great Barrier, and when it splashed into it, it became a boat, and then we were swimming with the dolphins and the whales and everything. It was absolutely gorgeous. So that was one of them. Now, how did that come true? Yesterday, and this is in the links, in Auckland. So you've got to learn how they signal. They put these news items up, and it will be either in the title, this is them making their signals, and it'll be in the title, or just be these random things, and you just have to read between the lines. So in this one, it was a picture of a big concrete drill, big round drill, and it had pushed through to Aotea Square. Now Aotea means like this. Aotearoa is the name of New Zealand, the Maori name, and it speaks of this long white cloud, or the place of light. So that's very symbolic of this new time, this time of light, and it's very significant that in New Zealand everyone's been getting really irritated because they keep using the name Aotearoa, and it's plain that they are trying to get rid of New Zealand. So, which of course, as you know, they do. Also, some of you will remember, it's still up, the dream that I had about Oprah Winfrey getting really excited about her daisy stocks, and when after a few weeks, because it took me quite a while to figure it out, it's just like that concrete dream. I had it months ago. And until we went to a stockbroker to find out if there was public companies called Daisy, and it wasn't until, and there weren't, and there was private ones though, and then I went to, because I had to wonder, what in the world could Oprah Winfrey gets so excited about, with her amount of money. It'd have to be a whole lot of money to get her. She was absolutely delirious with all the money that she was making with these stocks. And this is Paddy's cutting down there. Isn't this the most gorgeous place you ever saw in your life? So down there, Christmas Eve. So over there, that's the road to Mangamahu, and there's a little shed over there, and in that shed 81 bodies were held after they were pulled out of the water. There's a river over this cornfield, and down there at Paddy's Cutting, the original owner here, Duncan, and his brother, who are only 18 years of age, had to pull out all these babies' bodies out of the trees, and all these people, 81 people, and they just had to put over there into the truck. And this was on Christmas Eve. It was the Tanuai disaster. And terrible disaster, where a train, there was a washout, and the train went into the river with all these people going home for Christmas. Anyway, where was I? Daisy. So yesterday also, and it makes no sense what is happening now, because in the dream, finally I came across a video in which there was a woman sitting in a tinfoil room, and she's a scientist, and she was going through her resume, and she worked, the Hadron Collider, CERN over in Switzerland. Well, she worked at one of those, but her one is called Daisy, but it's spelled DESY. So I looked it up, and lo and behold, what did I find? But in this place called Daisy, they've been working on cures for what, and they have this was months and months ago that they had them, two very promising cures, and others in the waiting. So I thought, well, if there's one thing that could make enough money to get Winfrey and Oprah excited, that would be it. So on mainstream news, what did we have? Exactly that. We had pictures of capsules yesterday, and they are a cure. But of course, they're not actually saying this. They put that item there, nobody sees it. Nobody actually goes, wow. No, they still act as if, they're still on overdrive trying to get all the killing done. And but I have to watch my words. I saw Patriot Nurse today, and just like my dream said today, I think the time when the prophet's speaking will be no more. That I had my strike, she's had another one, and that the algorithms are trained to pick up every word. So that last one I just said probably wasn't very good, but never mind. I'll try what I can. So anyway, I might put the other one up because I don't know if I've forgotten. I've just done another video of this when those were stronger, the ghost riders, but I forgot to mention about the cure dream, and I thought you'd want to know about that because it's really important. And so the other dream was Denmark, Crown Prince of Denmark, and I can't say too much about that, except that if you go to, and I won't even say, can you see that? You know who it is? Janet. I'll say another word, and then, no, I won't say her name. Okay, there it is. So she used to be on Robert Steele, but of course then she went missing. I've spoken about her many times, okay? So she went missing, and everyone was worried about her. But yesterday I just decided to look up it again, and first of all I came across her name and a recent video being debunked, and that video is about the situation that we're talking about now, and I just read the debunking, and I realised how lame it was, and I thought, well, the videos she's doing now must be pretty good if they're going to those links to try and debunk them, and so look it up. I will leave the link to that too if I can, and she's now got another platform where you have to go to, because there's no way in the world that W-O-U, I can't even spell, you know what I'm on now, will ever let her say the things she's saying, but they're really important. And for those of you who are concerned about what the orange man is doing at the moment, which doesn't seem to make any sense, and when I see him, and especially now that you've got Mr. Jones' platform, throwing him under the bus and screaming, whoa, well, look, he's on the side of the bad guys. I just look at him and think, no, there's something not right with this. Number one, here he is. The way he's sitting on the chair with his legs spread eagle is just too obvious. And I really honestly don't think it's him. And to be going on a tour with, Mr. Roman Catholic Church himself, Bill O'Reilly, just doesn't add up. And especially when you've got Eric Trump on the very same morning mocking the third syringe, shall we say. He put up retweeted 3 pictures of 3 of these scorpions, shall we say, and with the caption, this time it'll work, or something like that. So he's obviously mocking it, but we have his father advocating it. So, and especially as his father had the problem, so he should be immune. So none of it's adding up. And unless you understand, what I've been trying to tell you in Revelation 9 and 20, that Trump is Christ returned, that God is not only the creator, but he is also the destroyer. And so, even the Hindu God, destroyer God outside CERN, that is God the Father. We have been lied to, that Satan doesn't have the power to do anything. All he can do is use weak humans to do his work, but God himself is the one who in righteousness purges this planet. It wasn't Satan who created the flood, was it? No, it was God. And the same with Sodom and Gomorrah. God will use who he uses, but he judges in righteousness, and that's where we are now. We have a cleansing and a purging going on. And so if you go to the site of Janet's, OSSEBAARD, though there will be things there that might make you uncomfortable, because and this is what my thought was. When she went missing, I never feared for her. I knew she was safe. I knew the work she has done was so important, that she was safe, and that all her work with the crop circles and whoever had made those, they would keep her safe. And so she may have been with them, but I knew she was okay. And when you look at the new site she's doing, that is the indication that you will get, because she's now talking about certain things that may make you uncomfortable, because as Christians we have been so brainwashed by the Masons to think the way that they want us to think, and to believe that the Revelation 9 and 20 Abaddon, Apollo, is the Antichrist, where a careful reading will show you that is not true, that he comes to destroy evil and to throw Satan into the prison. And he kills with the scorpions, that's for sure, but only those who do not have the mark of God on their foreheads. So anyone with God's mark, and also the green, grass and the trees, and that's why we can just render those ghost riders in the sky absolutely powerless, because God says no more touching my earth, and you people who have destroyed it, I'm destroying you. So I think that's all. So that's the Aotea. I'll tell you some more about the Aotea, the significance of that drill, concrete. So there was your concrete truck going very, very fast, creating this tunnel to Aotea. And so Great Barrier and Aotea mean the same thing, which is going into this new life, this new age. And so that is the meaning of Aotea as well, and the Aotearoa, the square. So Crown Prince, okay, that's where, amazing stuff that you'll find on these recent videos of Janet's, and she exposes the sham like no other. And the report came from Denmark. So that's, me marrying the Crown Prince of Denmark. And what else? The other one. So there was 3. There was that one, the concrete truck. There was another one, so it'll be on the other one. So concrete truck, Crown Prince of Denmark, Oprah Winfrey. No, that's 3, isn't it? I think that's 3. That'll do. Doesn't matter. There's been heaps more. And I believe all the dreams that I'm saying now are just saying, yes, we are here. This is the marriage. This is the time where I think there'll be a famine in the land. If you knew what happened to my husband yesterday, you would not believe it. He's in his new office. Unbelievable. So upsetting. So they've just shifted into a big new office in Palmerston North, and so it's like the fourth floor. They've got the whole floor of this building, and they've got lifts and everything, and down below, it's got this in the city square. And these children came in, and apparently it's the second time. Dennis wasn't there the first time they did it. Came in, the same age as our step-grandson, 10, 11 years old. And they came in and they called him a effing pedophile, and the ones the week before, they were actually, on the Friday, were like a little bit older, he said, and they were sort of boys, he's old Rexy, Rex, and they actually just got out of the lift and peed on the floor. Candy peed on the floor, and these girls, they came in and they called him every effing thing in the world, and they just come and they just push into him, and of course you can't do anything, you can't touch them back, and they took something off the table, and then threw eggs in the kitchen, incredible things, and said what they were going to do this, and you can't do an effing thing, and all the rest of it, and but the other guy, they came in and peed on the floor. Apparently they'd been downstairs into a cafe, pushed all over the tables, did everything, and just laughing, knowing that because of their age, the cops wouldn't do anything. Cops ended up coming, and of course just took them home. There'd be no one at home, and there's nothing they can do. And so these kids just think this is hysterical, but wow. So if you've got any spare prayers, please pray, because I know that this will really, it's so horrible. And, how do you deal with, people of kids of that age who even know, what a paedophile is, and to be able to speak like that to a 70-year-old man, it's just, just horrendous. Anyway, enough of that. I know from the dreams that the time is over. Everything that what was the other things? They may be in the link that I give you if you read between the lines, and it's quite clear what they are saying, and that it really is over. But right now they are just so desperate to get every last one in that they can, and to do that thing. So please take heart, all the rest of you who have been amazing. Anyone that's made it this far, you're just amazing. The war that has been fought against us psychologically, emotionally, mentally, it's just amazing, and I think the hardest part is the whole religiosity part, and this is what you will find with Janet. I think the worst recently, a few high-level Christians, they call themselves Christians, and I believe this is the same thing that I showed you yesterday about what's his name? Paul Begley. That's why I dreamt right back at the beginning when Trump took over, Paul Begley lying down in the grass in his suit. These are the preachers who have got their money off God all their lives, but are lazy. For him to now be going on the Rex Bear leak project, showing all the Christians everything about the Sumerians and the Anunnaki, and about not being made by God, without giving any explanation, so obviously he's just covering his back. So it's just amazing. I mean, I cannot imagine what it'd be like for some of the Christians I know who are not educated, who just have that simple faith in Jesus, to be seeing all this stuff and saying, what is happening? This is, I'm going crazy. Am I going crazy? What would I really believe? And then, of course, if you go to one of my videos, I think it's called All Christians Need to Know This Now, something like that. I'll put the link to that too. But that's the vision of Albert Pike, and that was his Masonic vision for the 3 world wars. And from what I saw yesterday, the headline about Russia, that is obviously what is next on the list. And they are painting Putin just the way they painted the Hitler man. And so any of you who haven't seen that, please look up the link that I've got for that video on called Adolf Hitler, The Greatest Story You Never Heard. Okay, it is amazing, and you'll realise that golly, that Germany didn't lose the war. They went underground. They were at Antarctica. A deal was made, and I believe that all those German scientists that went to the USA, they are the ones who have been teaching. They taught the CIA and the FBI to be actually doing the things that that they're blaming Germany for. Okay, with the experiments with the people, the cloning, all that sort of thing that they accused Germany of, that Germany may have been doing it in a particular way, which was just selective breeding, but I believe the USA has taken it a step further and went into actual test tube breeding, and that's how you've got the likes of the Antichrist Obama, that. And I must make this statement because I never felt, even though I've put it on several videos, that Obama was a clone of Pope Sally and Hitler. I knew he didn't look a bit like Hitler, and I knew that wasn't quite right. But somehow, because of the way that I was brainwashed, to believe who that man was, that he had to be behind it. So I put his name in it, and I can see now, no, you just need to look at his body language to know what kind of a man he really was, And that guy loved, he sang in the choirs, he was a very godly man, as were all the German people. So, the narrative that they have spun for the protocols of ZION, the evil JEWSs, has just poisoned the whole world. And and that is exactly what they're doing now. And the whole deal was to destroy the republic, to destroy democracy, and to institute socialism, communism. And they nearly got there. They nearly won. But praise God, they didn't. God sent the orange man. Apollyon, Messiah ben David, the one hated, and the one spoken of in 2nd Esdras 5 and 6. A king unwelcome to the inhabitants of the earth succeeds to the throne. And that was one of the latest dreams that I've had, in which I was signing over the top of a farewell card. It was a farewell card, and there was a lot of people's signatures on this card, and I was signing mine on top of them, and in red ink, and the ink was running out. Now, I only did it twice. I made 2, one at the top, one at the bottom, but when I signed my name, I signed it 2nd Esdras 5:6. A king unwelcome to the inhabitants of the earth succeeds to the throne. And that's what I signed today. Wish you Merry Christmas. I thank you, America, for those of you that are waking up, being strong and standing for your republic, loving your country. And that is what we all that should be doing. Patriotism and love of country and love of land and love of your brother, just as Jesus told us to. I bless you all in his holy name and wish you a Merry Christmas.